Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. And today I want to share with you guys another smart security camera for your home. Now, guys, if you're in the market for getting a security camera, you can go into a big box store, browse what they have, and you're going to see a lot of the mainstream brands. And when I say mainstream, it's the ones you're going to find like Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, those stores like Best Buy, where you're going to be paying quite a bit of money for those cameras. Now, nothing wrong with that. They're great quality cameras, but there's a lot of other brands, which I like to call micro brands, kind of like micro brand watches, that are ones you may not have heard about that really give you a lot of bang for your buck. Now, I'm a huge security camera fan. I have several different brands around my house. I've tinkered with several different brands, and I have a pretty good base for knowing what you get for your money and some of the pros and cons to some of the cameras out there. Some cameras are really easy to set up, other ones not so much. When I look at cameras like Zomato, my main system, which has a couple NVRs and about 8, 9, 10 cameras just on the Zomato system. I have power over Ethernet, which is great because it's a really small cable. You can put the cameras wherever you want to get power and signal through one very small cable. Then, of course, you have Wi-Fi cameras, which are great too because you don't have to run a cable, but you do have to plug them in. So there's pros and cons depending on your home or apartment, and that are going to allow you to mount cameras, I guess, in the best location with the easiest hookup. Other times there are battery-powered cameras and solar-powered cameras. I have a nice selection of all these different cameras. So I have battery power, power over Ethernet, and Wi-Fi. And again, there are pros and cons. So the camera that was sent to me the other day is by a company called Elinksmart. And this is the third camera I have by them. If you haven't checked out my videos on the other products I've reviewed, their pan, tilt, zoom baby cam. I reviewed their video doorbell, and now their battery-powered weatherproof camera. Now, you can use it indoors if you'd like, but it is weatherproof. You can use it outside, no problems whatsoever. And this is the device right here. And I want to tell you a little bit about the specs. A lot of times, guys, there's not really too much to show when it comes to something like this because pretty much what you see is what you get. Now, this didn't come with a... You can see in the back here there's a little recession. This is something similar to what Reolink does and Arlo. And basically they have a magnetic mount that you screw into either a wall or outside or wherever you got to mount it. And the camera just basically has a magnet built in and sticks right on that mount, and you can turn it to whatever direction you want. I opt to use the ones that are screwed in just because I feel like they're a little bit more, a little more secure as far as theft. If you have a magnet mount, someone can just grab that, rip it off, and run away with it, reset it, and then use it for their own purposes. I like the idea of putting these kind of out of sight, out of reach, not out of sight, but out of reach from somebody just grabbing them. And of course, if let's say somebody were to, let's say it was on one of the magnet mounts, somebody were to hit it with a stick, knock it off, they could still steal it. At least with this, there's a little bit more peace of mind that somebody can't take this. So that's why I opt to use these mounts. Although it did not come with that magnetic mount, I'm just assuming that's what that's for. It's probably an option if you want to pick it up. So that's about it. Let me tell you guys a little bit more about the camera directly off the website. Now, I like Elinksmart products because the ease of use for setting up is super straightforward. The Zomato setup that I have is more of a pain in the butt. It definitely is harder to set those cameras up. It's one of all the cameras I have, it's definitely one of the hardest systems to set up. For whatever reason, sometimes they just don't want to connect. Sometimes the hard drive doesn't want to the NVR doesn't want to recognize them. So these ones are really user friendly. And again, if you have an area that maybe you can't, let's say you have an area in your backyard where you don't have the option to run power over Ethernet cable that far, or let's say you don't have the option to plug a Wi-Fi camera in. This is a great option for you. So a little bit about the camera. Let's see here. So you have, again, wire-free and weatherproof, easy setup with the mobile control app. You have a smart PIR sensor with built-in PIR motion sensing that distinguishes between moving people, falling leaves. It avoids sun triggers and reduces false triggering of sensors and wakes up the camera to save power. So that's how these, basically these battery-powered cameras work. They kind of go into a sleep mode where they're still monitoring what's going on, and when there is human detection, motion detected, they will come alive and then start recording and give you the notification. You get that in a push request or a push alert on your phone. This one does not have a micro SD card. It does have your charging port on the bottom, which is a micro USB, so you will have to charge this at some point, but the app will tell you where your battery life is. Generally on the doorbell cam that I have, I usually get about a month out of a charge. So not too bad, but it is a little bit of an inconvenience. That's the downside to battery-powered cameras, that you do have to charge them. Now, I do recommend if you are going to get a battery-powered camera, there's lots of different micro USB solar panels you can get. And I have one of those on my rear link cameras in my backyard, and I never have to take it down and charge it. It's constantly charging. It always has a charge, and I think it's just a really convenient way to maintain the battery on these things, because if you do let these type of cameras go all the way down and let them sit for a couple days, you could destroy the battery, which is what happened on my rear link cam. I don't think that the solar panel was in a spot where it was getting any kind of sunlight, so naturally the battery went all the way down and destroyed the battery. Luckily, rear link was nice enough to send me a new battery, so that was great. So as far as detection, it says Wi-Fi camera will take photos or video and send alerts to your phone when the PIR is triggered. It says it supports a micro SD card up to 128 gigs and cloud storage, but for the life of me, I can't figure out where there's an SD card on here, and I think that is a misprint because I don't see any slots on this thing for an SD card. So I think that's something that they accidentally popped onto their website. Not sure. I'll have to double check that. And if I am wrong, I'll put a note in the description, because I just don't see where you can put an SD card in this thing. So normally they have a pretty visible slot. So I think that's a typo. So keep that in mind. If you do buy this camera, there is no SD card. But again, if I am wrong, I will let you know at a later date. You have PIR detection of 100 degrees vertical and 120 horizontal. Resolution is 1080 by 720. A 4400 milliamp battery. It's lithium ion with 5-volt power wires. It does work off a 2.4 gigahertz network like most smart products. Not many smart home tech products work off the 5 gigahertz. And again, it says it supports a TF card up to 8 gig, 16 gig, 32, and 128. Wake up mode, PIR, button, and app wake up. So if you want to go and wake up the camera and check the camera, you can go into the app, turn it on, and you can see a live image. So you can wake it up manually if you just want to check the image at any time you want. It says it comes with the wireless camera and in the battery, the wall mount USB cable, and a user manual says to charge 12 hours for the first time, which I did not do, but it had a full charge when I got it. So I will probably throw it on a charger just to make sure to condition that battery. That's really about it with this device. Pretty straightforward. $69 directly through the website. I would link you to Amazon, but for some reason when you link to the camera on Amazon, it pulls up a smart lock. So I'm not sure. So they must have got the listing wrong. But if there is a correction at a later date, I will put a different link in the description. I will also put a link to eBay where you can pick this up for the best price. Of course, I'm sure the company is actually selling on eBay as well, or there's other people selling this particular camera. But I tested this earlier in the in the day, and it's a pretty awesome camera. I mean, you got two-way audio. You have a speaker in here, so if, let's say, you had this on your front door and it detects motion, you can actually speak through the camera or listen in. And it's something that you don't necessarily have to use outdoors as well. It's something that you can definitely put inside your house, which would be very easy if you have to just pop it down and just charge the battery. And that's just something you have to deal with when it comes to battery-powered cameras. But I think overall, it's a great camera. I'm going to mount this outside and do a little more testing with it. I had a little bit of an issue when I used this at my folks' house the other night, and they have the Christmas lights up, and it was constantly getting triggers from the lights, even though they say that this camera will not pick up or not get false detections. And I know that's something that a lot of the cameras like that I have, like Zomato cameras, light definitely fools them. So if the sun, some clouds go by and the sun goes behind some clouds, then the sun comes out again, it kind of fools the camera and you get an alert. And I'll tell you, with my Zomato cameras, I'm constantly getting false alerts. So with something like my Reolink camera, and I assume something like this as well, you're going to get a lot less alerts than you would with something like the Zomato setup. So I definitely encourage you to check it out if you're in the market. Compared to what you're going to pay for like an Arlo setup, this is fully featured. I love their app. It pretty much gives you everything you need to to use the camera for, change the settings in the app. It's really fully featured. Definitely way better than my Zomato cameras. Even though I'm a fan of the Zomato brand, there's not a lot of control with Zomato. It's pretty much like a camera. It's on, and you can't really do a lot of adjustments when it comes to sensitivity. This is fully featured. You can really check everything. Network settings, everything you really need to do with the camera, you can do right through their app. So I definitely give kudos to Elinksmart for having a great app and just a great product. So check them out. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to ask. I think that a nice thing about cameras like this, if you want to add one here and there, maybe you don't want to go out and drop a couple $100s on, 3 or 4 cameras right off the bat, you can slowly add cameras to your house. And I think that in today's day and age, for the price of these things, it's really a no-brainer. It just gives you the peace of mind that you can check in on your house when you're away. If you get a package or a mailman comes, or it's just a great way to, keep track of your cars, your backyard. I mean, it's just a great way to give you that peace of mind knowing that when you're away from home, work, whatever, if you have family coming in, whatever, you can definitely, be informed on what's going on in your property or your business. So great product. I'm very happy with it. I want to thank Elinksmart once again for their generosity and sending me another great product. I hope to work with them again in the future. They have a lot of really cool products. Stay tuned. Next couple days, I'm going to review 2 of their brand new biometric smart locks. So if you have a locker or something, you're a student, or you can even use them on a suitcase or whatnot. Great way to be able to have easy access and some protection to anything that you need to put a padlock on. So definitely stay tuned for those. If you like the content, do subscribe to the channel. If you want to make a purchase, please do it through my links. It does help to support the channel. And once again, guys, if you have any questions, I'm always here to help. If you do subscribe, click the bell to be notified anytime I upload a new video. It's the only way you're going to know when I put up new content, which I usually try to do every week. But I've been sick for the last 2 weeks. So feeling way better, feeling great, feeling never better, actually. And stay tuned for more, guys. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Hope the holidays were great, and take care.